Before we go, let Josh go and have his Zoom celebration party with the rest of the Bayern Munich supporters of Canada. We got to ask you, Rob. We're awaiting word of what the Canadian Premier League season will look like, when it will play out. Your Pacific FC are back in training. How are the boys looking? How's everything out in Langford?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're sort of in this phase two training, so I believe it's max 10 players on the field, minimal contact. So it's, you can only imagine these boys have been stuck in a room for months, with a lot of uncertainty. But credit to our staff and our medical staff and our coaches, really, finding ways to motivate them, keep them engaged. During the quarantine, and now in these training sessions, I tell you what, they look sharp. It's allowed our club to, we have a relatively young squad, and allowed our coaching staff to do things that normally mid-season you couldn't be doing, working on a lot of sort of weaknesses. But I think it comes down to keeping them engaged, keeping them sharp. If you're a player and you don't really have that target, that objective that you're working towards yet, no one really knows what's going to happen. It's challenging. So to keep them motivated is difficult. But when I go watch them train, the boys look really sharp. I'm confident in what we have as a team. There's a lot of unknowns what the other teams, based on international players, can they come and go. So it's going to be an interesting season. I tell you what, I can't wait to see. The kickoff. Hopefully we're hosting it. We're excited to host it. I'm sure everybody knows that we've thrown our hat in. Just let's get a season. Let's get these boys playing games. Let's get the rest of Canada watching it and sort of showing the level. I do believe that the CPL level this year is going to be much better than last year, and then roll into next season. That much stronger as a league. Hopefully we've gotten a ton of exposure on TV across Canada to the sort of general fan, and then just keep the momentum going. So we're confident we'll make something happen, and I'm confident in what we have.
Rob, let's end on this. And by the way, we can't wait to see your team on the field. I think Ollie Platt has you guys as dark horse to win the Canadian Premier League title this year, right?
I think everyone does.
Yeah, there you go. So, Canadian soccer
I won't
fans.
talk about my offensive players. I tell you what, they're exciting.
Yeah, no kidding. Canadian soccer fans are waiting patiently for an announcement to be made. I mean, there's so many different factors as we see it play out in the NBA and the NHL and MLS. Like, all of these leagues are running into hurdles along the way. How difficult is it to be patient from an ownership perspective, from where you come from, understanding that there's things beyond yours and the league's control at play right now?
Well, and that's the thing, and we've sort of had the ability to watch what the MLS is doing. You're seeing what some of these other leagues are trying to do, and you got to be careful to sort of rush this as well. MLS rushed it. I know the USL is going to start playing games, I believe, this weekend or next. Who knows what's going to happen there? I think for us, we've taken an approach to really let's be careful. Let's not rush. Try to jam the season down, like whether it's July or August. Let's see what's happening across the country. Obviously, the trend is going down for the COVID cases. Markets like ours haven't seen a case in months, and because all it takes is sort of one hiccup, and you're seeing right now in the MLS down in Florida that one or two sort of major outbreaks, and your season's over, and that's the last thing we need. And sort of with the momentum we had last year, and what we built this year. So I tell you what, there's a lot of work going in, behind the scenes, day in, day out. We're not talking a lot about it. A lot of it's out of our control. A lot of it's in the provincial health authorities to sort of allow us to do this. I know BC Health has sort of laid out a laundry list of boxes that we need to check to make this work. So, but I think we're getting very close. And, once we really agree to do this, I think you're going to see a lot of work that we've been working on behind the scenes sort of come out, and it's going to look really exciting.
We can't wait. Kudos to you and the rest of the ownership. Like I said, it's better to be patient than live in regret doing something silly that might not turn out. So keep up the good work. Fingers crossed as these Canadian markets, we continue to do a great job battling this pandemic. And there's reason to believe that in the not so distant future, we'll have some good news to present.